Welcome to Awakening You channel. We hope you found something here that sparked your interest and assists you in your awakening journey. If you appreciate what we do, please support us. Thank you. My dear friends, everything in life is energy. There is nothing, absolutely nothing, that is not energy. Everything vibrates with this energy, and the number of vibrations, or wave patterns, within a given period of time is called the frequency with which the energy fluctuates. Energy is always fluctuating. Always. That is, energy never remains static. If energy were to ever remain static, everything would suddenly stand still. The physical world would simply stop, as in the freeze frame of the movie. In that moment life would end. Life, then, could be defined as movement. When movement stops, life stops. We have nothing to worry about, however, because movement never stops. It is built into the system. It is the system. This information is more than esoteric data. It has some practical implications that may have escaped you. It has applications in day-to-day living that could change your life in remarkable ways. For instance, ever notice how energy flows? Energy never remains at straight-up zero. If there was such a thing as an energiometer, you would see that the needle is always moving. And the meter is very sensitive. Very sensitive. You would see the needle swing wildly to the left or right of dead center with the slightest fluctuation in the vibe. Dead center would be an apt description of the moment when the needle is pointing straight up. That would mean there is zero fluctuation of the energy, hence no movement, hence no life. That would, indeed, be dead center. Now, why am I bringing this all up here? Your energy in every single moment is either moving towards something or away from it. It is either attracting or repelling. It is either pulling something closer or pushing it farther away. Within the phenomenon known as space, moving towards something or pulling something closer is the same thing. It is the experience of shortening the space between two objects, or, in fact, two experiences. The way you think about a thing attracts it or repels it. That's because what you want is energy moving in one direction or the other. We call these to and fro energies love and fear. Those are names of actual human emotions, but, in truth, they are simply our ways of describing emotions, that is, energy in motion. Again, energy is always in motion. It's either moving towards something or away from it. It cannot do both and it cannot do neither. It is eternally doing one or the other. The swings of the meter to the left and the right of dead center are necessary, and part of the normal function of life. The fluctuation must occur, and so this business of moving towards something or away from it is not a question of good and bad. One thing is not better than the other. It is just what is. That is important to understand. Otherwise, we might get into our judgments about it. The trick with regard to energy is to learn how to regulate it so that you can control the ebb and flow. You are actually controlling the ebb and flow right now, but you may not be doing it consciously. Regulating energy is about conscious creation of the ebb and flow. It is about conscious attenuation of the vibration. It is about adjusting the frequency of your energy on purpose. Because the needle on the energiometer is so very sensitive, the slightest, tiniest, most minute fluctuation in your personal energy causes the reading to vary massively from one moment to the next. Even from 1 millisecond to the next. So we have this needle swinging wildly from left to right past zero, which is at center. The needle is never at straight up zero except when it passes through 0 point on its way left or right. Now, with regard to any person, place, or thing in your life, ask yourself this question: on this day, am I moving towards this, or away from it? This will help explain why your relationship with your significant other is going the way it is going. Are you experiencing greater closeness or greater distance? Are you experiencing an increase in the energy's intensity, or a decrease? More important, is the next remark you were going to make, or the next thing you are going to do, likely to swing the needle to the left or to the right? Is it getting warmer or is it getting colder in the environment of your heart? What is the temperature of your present interaction? To what degree do you see it changing the mood of the moment? To what extent will this shift to the left or the right of center affect the long-term balance within the system? These are interesting things to think about just before opening our mouths to say something to another. These are fascinating things to explore just before taking some action or making some choice, be it large or small, in the day-to-day process of our living. Is this action drawing me closer to, or pushing me further away from, my loved one? Are these words pulling that special other just a tiny bit further in, or moving that special other just a tiny bit further away? Which way is this sensitive meter pointing? Of course, it can't always be at a +10. Sometimes it's going to be at -2 or -3. You can't have up without down. You can't have left without right. You can't have cold without warm. You have to have the fluctuation. The fluctuation is good. It is necessary. It is, as we have said, part of the process. But here's something that most people don't understand about that process: you can control it. You can regulate it. Indeed, you are doing so in every moment. It is simply a question of whether you know what you are doing. When you know what you are doing, it is called conscious creation. Conscious creation is the deliberate construction of energy patterns in a particular frequency of fluctuation. To put this simply, it is the sending out of good vibes deliberately and intentionally. It is the activation of the choice to attract rather than repel, to move toward rather than away, to pull in rather than push out. Is this what you were doing with the last thing that you said to the person with whom you want to feel closer? Read the last email that you sent to that person. Do you think that it is swinging the needle to the right or to the left of point zero? It's just a question. With pure love, Neale.